Should I start wherever? Okay. This is Hannah Smith. Hannah Smith was 13 years old when she was cyberbullied about her weight and her family's loss. She was also 13 years old when she committed suicide because of the cyberbullying. Hannah's not the only one who has suffered from cyberbullying, and cyberbullying is not the only effect from this new social wave. Today I will expand upon a few negative effects from our use of social media. I believe they should be limited to what type of social media they are using and how much they are using it. I will share why it's becoming difficult for them to be face-to-face, why cyberbullying is increasing, and why the sense of what's appropriate to put on social media is becoming unknown. Where did these younger generations learn that this was okay? Maybe it was from our older generations who didn't have this kind of social media around, so they don't know how to stop it. Let me start off with some changes that are being made without this line being drawn. The youth, our youth is losing personal connection from being face-to-face because of this. When they're put in professional settings, they're losing sense of what is appropriate and how to speak in these situations. They're beginning to feel anxious and uncomfortable because they're not accustomed to speaking to people in person. When talking with one of my professors, she told me that people are starting to come into one-on-one meetings less and less because they're scared to talk face-to-face. She said she's constantly getting emails because people just don't feel like coming in, and she's starting to believe that this is one of the effects of social media. She believes that it's easier for them to communicate with her over email or over some type of social media communication versus talking to her face-to-face. She also said that this would have never happened 2 years ago, and she believes that social media plays a huge role in this. In Olivia Bress's article, Online versus Face-to-Face Communication Disclosure, she shares, using online communication may make students feel more comfortable asking teachers or other students questions because of the anonymity it can provide. This may make the students feel less self-conscious of what they're asking, or they may feel less judged because they can't see someone's personal reaction. The lack of face-to-face communication is not only causing professional environments to be more relaxed, it is also causing numbness to the other people's emotions. I'm sure you've all heard of the quote, out of sight, out of mind. This holds true to many of these teens because they feel safer being behind a computer screen. In Cherise Nixon's article, Current Perspectives, The Impact of Cyberbullying on Adolescents, she states, the shift from face-to-face communication to online communication has created a unique, potentially harmful dynamic for social relationships. You are not able to see the physical stance that someone has when you're behind a computer screen or their facial expressions. And it's not that most teens don't know this, it's the fact that they do know this. They're saying things behind a computer screen because it doesn't affect them. They're able to close out of the page and never look at it again. Nixon also mentions perpetrators of cyberbullying do not see the faces of their targets and subsequently may not understand the full consequences of their actions, thereby decreasing important feelings of personal accountability. Once it's set on the internet, like I said, they can close out of the page. This ignorance is causing temptation amongst our youth. The increase in cyberbullying continues to climb as more social media sites are brought to life. In Krista Mahari's article, Cyberbullying Among Adolescents, Measures in Search of Constructs, she shares, electronic communication enables adolescents to aggress in private from their home at any time. There is the potential for an unlimited audience, as the adolescents do not need to be physically present to witness aggression perpetrated electronically. They're under the impression that they don't have to face the consequences, and no one is around to witness their actions, so how does it affect them? Well, newsflash, just because you put low-key before your statement doesn't mean that no one can see it. Putting this stuff on display for anyone on the internet is very real. Most social media includes anyone being able to see it. And now, because of the geniuses who created anonymous sites, people can not only, they can see what, but they can't see who. This idea has aroused from sites like Yik Yak and Ask.fm. This allows people to comment as cruelly and happily as they want. This also allows them to comment about whoever, whenever, and whatever they want. This is not the young generation's way to stay connected. It is a way for people to tear people down. The sad thing is, who's stopping them? We're not. More and more college students and adults are getting accounts just for entertainment. This is becoming a sick obsession for older generations just to get a laugh out of. These are just a few examples. Even though these are more about celebrities, it's still the same idea. The cyberbullying is not the only infectious way of using social media. Now we're not only posting directly, but we're carelessly posting inappropriate stuff because it's anonymous. In Randy Shedlowski's article, Effects of Other Evaluations on Our Experience, he proposes social influence informs expectations and consequently perceptions. This article is suggesting that people are posting what they perceive to be expected of them. So they may not be posting because they want to, but they may think that this is what's expected of them from their peers. As Mahari mentions in her article, people are able to separate their real-life selves from their online selves. This applies to adolescents because of what is expected of them during these years. Most of the time, they're expected to have a glamorized life, and they do these things to boost themselves or boost their self-image. This is the process of trying to impress others, and it's becoming more and more of a problem. In Tony Bradley's article, Protect Your Privacy on Facebook and Twitter, he shares, by its very nature, social networking is all about socializing, which means that users are more likely than usually disposed to let their guard down and share information. When our youth are sharing this information, they're not only sharing it with everyone, they're specifically sharing it with online predators. This is something that most adolescents are ignorant towards. Bradley also mentions that attackers have figured out that family friends are easy prey for sob stories. Predators are well aware of what they want, and they're well aware of this. It's up to us to protect our youth from easily providing this information. All of these things adding up are causing a certain dysfunction with America's youth. In closing, today I express why social media is having a negative effect on our youth. Why personal connection, bullying, and personal awareness are all suffering because of the world of social media. When is the line drawn?
Good timing. Victoria.